Airport aprons are the busiest and most important parts of any airport hub. They connect the runway to the building. These large areas, which are also called ramps, are used for a wide range of tasks, from parking planes and refueling them to moving goods and providing other ground support. As the sun sets on the horizon and casts a golden glow on the airport runway, a beautiful dance takes place in front of your eyes. The combination of moving ground support equipment, roaring airplane engines, and skilled gathering staff directing huge steel birds makes you feel awe. Step behind the scenes and watch the fascinating drama of Crazy Airport Aprons, where the ordinary becomes the extraordinary and the everyday becomes an exciting show. Aircraft parking and marshalling. When planes land on the runway, highly skilled ground crew members lead them to their assigned parking spots. With their marshalling tools and clear hand signs, these professionals make sure that planes are parked safely and quickly. Their knowledge and coordination are key to avoiding collisions and making the most of the limited area. Ground support equipment. There is a lot of ground support equipment at airports, and each piece is important to the way planes work. GAC machines like baggage carts, food trucks, and fuel tankers vehicles buzz around the yard and are the backbone of ground services. They make sure that everything runs smoothly, from handling bags to making sure passengers are comfortable. Modern conveyor systems and other equipment help keep things moving smoothly, and strict security measures keep important items safe during transport. Amazing, right? Refueling airplanes is one of the most important things that happen on the airport apron. Specialized filling trucks hook up to the planes and pump jet fuel into their tanks, following strict safety rules. Even a small mistake can have disastrous effects, so the process needs to be done carefully. Aircraft pushback and towing. When it's time for an airplane to leave its parking spot, a well-planned process takes place on the airport apron. Pushback tugs are tractor-like vehicles that hook up to the plane's main gear and carefully move it away from the gate. Skilled people on the ground crew run the pushback process and make sure the plane moves smoothly and safely. When an airplane needs to be moved without its engines running, aircraft towing is used. Ground power units and air conditioning. Ground power units are used to keep aircraft equipment running while they are on the ground. These mobile power sources connect to the plane and provide electricity for things like lighting, air conditioning, and sensors. At the same time, carefully placed air conditioning units make sure that passengers and workers are comfortable during boarding and leaving. Maintenance and inspections. Apron areas are also temporary homes for planes that are being fixed or checked out. Skilled technicians check, fix, and inspect the plane on a regular basis to make sure it is safe and can fly. From engine maintenance to electronic upgrades, the apron becomes a center of technical expertise, with specialized tools and facilities to help with these complicated tasks. Safety is the most important thing on the airport strip, where moving planes, people, and ground support equipment are all close together. There are strict rules and processes in place to reduce risks and stop accidents. Safety rules for aprons include how to train employees, how to use tools correctly, how to make sure signs and markings are clear, and how to follow standard operating procedures. Regular safety audits and reviews make sure that apron safety standards are met and that they keep getting better. Advanced monitoring systems are used to keep the apron safe and keep an eye on what is going on there. CCTV cameras carefully placed across the apron send video feeds to the security control centers in real time. These CCTV cameras help find any unauthorized access, track the movement of planes, and react quickly to any security threats or suspicious activities. Amazing, right? Apron lighting and night operations. Airport aprons have high-tech lighting systems to make operations easier at night and when vision is low. High-intensity apron lights light up places where planes are parked, taxiways, and walkways so that ground crew can move safely and see where they are going. Floodlights on the apron and lighting around the outside improve safety and guidance. These lighting systems, which are often linked to robotics, make the apron run more smoothly and more efficiently, even when it's dark. De-icing procedures. De-icing processes are common on airport aprons in places where it gets cold and snows often. Specially built trucks spray a mixture of de-icing fluids onto the plane's surfaces. This gets rid of ice and snow so the plane can safely take off. To make sure the plane works at its best, this important process needs to be done carefully and according to specific rules. Markings and signs on the apron. There is a complex network of markings and signs on the apron of an airport to help guide airplanes, ground vehicles, and people. These marks include airfield lines, parking spots for planes, and safety zones. They make sure that people can move around the apron in a smooth and orderly way. Signs like information boards and directional signs help pilots, ground crew, and other people get around the runway safely and quickly. This makes it less likely that people will get lost or crash. Air traffic control and apron management. Both air traffic control and apron management workers work together to keep the apron safe and in order. ATC makes sure that planes move around smoothly and works with apron control points to keep an eye on what's going on there. To avoid problems or delays, it's important for these two groups to communicate and work together well. Changes in technology have had a big effect on how an apron works. Augmented reality and virtual reality are also being looked into for training purposes. This would let ground crew members model apron situations and practice procedures in a safe and controlled digital setting. Preparedness for emergencies. Airport aprons are well equipped to deal with emergencies and make sure that passengers and workers are safe. Fire trucks and rescue vehicles are strategically placed on the apron so they can react quickly to any problem. People who are highly trained are ready to handle emergencies like aircraft fires, medical emergencies, or situations where people need to leave the plane. This makes sure that there is a quick and effective reaction. At the airport, emergency reaction drills are done regularly to make sure that people are ready to handle serious situations. During these drills, the airport officials, airlines, emergency services, and ground support staff all have to work together. Effects of things like plane fires, fuel leaks, and shifting let teams practice their jobs, test their response times, and figure out where they need to improve. These drills help to keep the apron as safe and ready as possible in case of real situations. Interesting, right? Apron capacity and expansion. As air travel keeps growing, airlines have to find ways to fit more and more planes on their aprons. Airport officials have to think about apron space and plans for growth. To get the most out of an apron, it's important to look at how much room is available, figure out the best way to park planes, and use new technologies. As part of an expansion project, it may be necessary to build more parking spots, improve the ground infrastructure, and come up with new ways to handle more planes and ground operations. Apron environmental sustainability. In the past few years, airlines have been putting more effort into making their aprons more environmentally friendly. Carbon emissions and environmental damage are kept to a minimum by using electric ground support equipment, other fuel choices for planes, and eco-friendly ground operations. Renewable energy sources, efficient waste management systems, and water conservation measures are being added to apron designs to make them more sustainable and good for the earth. Apron human factors and teamwork. Because apron operations are always changing and moving quickly, they depend heavily on good teamwork and clear communication. The ground crew, pilots, air traffic controllers, and support staff all have to work well together and follow the rules and processes that have been set up. Training programs not only focus on professional skills, but also on things like situational awareness, making decisions under pressure, and working well as a team. These things are very important for making sure that yard operations run smoothly and that everyone stays safe. When you go deep into Crazy Airport Aprons, you find a world where safety, economy, and new ideas meet. With things like aircraft pushback, apron safety, new technology, and protecting the environment, these busy areas are always changing to meet the needs of the ever-growing airline business. Behind the glamour and bustle of an airport, the apron is a sign of the hard work and teamwork of many people working together to make sure flights are memorable. Next time you get on a plane, take a moment to think about what goes on behind the scenes on the roof to make sure your trip goes off without an issue.